Hello, Peter Greenlaw here. I'm the founder of the New Health Conversation movement, which I think we sorely need. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Do you really think that diets work? Today, we're going to show you some pictures that are going to completely blow your mind away. But let's look at the science, okay? That's what we're devoted to at the New Health Conversation. We're not bringing you a bunch of hype, celebrity endorsements, opinions, this stuff that they all state. They have no medical background behind it at all, okay? So we're going to bring you a before and after today, and I really want to warn you, you're going to be so blown away, you're going to think that we fixed it somehow. We didn't. This contestant was part of a big radio. He won part of a radio contest where they awarded big cash prizes. And in order to qualify, what they had to do is they had to submit their blood work on day one from their doctor, and then 50 days later, they had to resubmit the blood work, the weight, the inches, all those variables. So we had no input on this whatsoever. But I'm about to share this with you, and I want to warn you, you're going to think you've never seen anything like this in your life because it's so dramatic. So I'm going to go to Chris's pictures here, his before and afters. That's right. He lost, you ready? 75.6 pounds and almost 65 inches in 50 days. 50 days. Have you ever seen anything like this on the planet? There's no diet that even could come within the zip code of this, okay? Now, the other thing, before I go over all of his other numbers, which are dramatic, as a matter of fact, the main reason to do this is not to lose weight, but it's to improve your metabolic function. Now, there were 2 published, peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. That's as high as you can go in medicine. For the first time in 40 years, they produced results. They were published in the Nutrition Journal and the Obesity Journal, probably the #1 journal in the world, and the researchers were shocked at the numbers that they saw. Now, Chris blew away anything they even came close to. Let me just tell you what the parameters of the clinical studies were. Chris was not a part of that. He had nothing to do with it, but I'm just using it as an illustration. So in the studies, which were 80% women, 20% men, no one allowed to exercise. And yet, people lost weight in a month, 16 pounds, that took people 12 months on any diet, about 16 pounds on average on every diet out there. However, all the research said of all the diets they analyzed, and they analyzed all of them, okay? So paleo, keto, Mediterranean, Atkins, zone diet, blood type diet, intermittent fasting, the average weight loss in a year was about 16 pounds. And the weight loss was primarily 80% or more lean muscle. That's unhealthy. When you lose lean muscle in your body, what happens? The body slows your metabolism down. You come off that diet, you gain all the weight back, okay? Now, let's look at his numbers. This is insane. His LDL went from 127 to 114, but his triglycerides more than in half, from 278 to 115. Look at his blood pressure. It was 149 over 81. Now it's 103 over 64. And even his A1C went down. There's no diet on the planet that's ever produced a result like this. Even the researchers said when they got the results, not Chris's, but the people in the studies, they had to run them 3 different times because they could not believe. They weren't going to submit them to the medical journals until they knew that their numbers were rock solid. In case you don't know how a peer-reviewed medical study works, you run your experiment, you submit your data to them, and they determine if it's worthy to be peer-reviewed. What does that mean? It means they're sending it out to other world-class experts whose main job is to discredit what you're trying to prove. That's why no drug would ever get approved without a peer-reviewed medical trial. And isn't it ironic that all these, whether it's Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, GoLow, Paleo, Mediterranean, none of them on their own have peer-reviewed medical studies. The studies that were done on them were not done by the company or the diet approaches themselves. Because obviously, if you go on these studies, they'll publish the results even if they don't match up with what you're claiming. But I think you can see there, look at his stomach. Obviously, he lost almost 65 inches, but he lost it from his chest, he lost it from his stomach, his abdomen, etc. This is life-changing. And if you're not curious at this point, I don't know what to tell you. But for further evidence, you can go to our website for free. We don't charge you to go there, okay? You can look at not just before and afters, which we didn't retouch as well. You'll notice people lost tremendous amounts of weight with no loose skin for the most part. And then also, there's an interview with the chief scientist, the #1 nutritional researcher in the world for nearly 40 years. And if it looks interesting, you can schedule for free, a free consultation with us. We'll go over, answer all your questions. We're not there to sell you or convince you. We don't need to do that. We're going to stand on science. You can go on any diet you want, you can lose weight, you gain it all back. Because in the follow-up studies from the medical studies that haven't been published yet, they're almost 2 years old now. The people who lost the weight on the original peer-reviewed studies have been able to keep it off. So R2M, maybe you're curious what that stands for, race to maintenance. With the main job that we have is to show you how to lose it and then keep it off. Yeah, it's that simple. So if you're curious, go to the website and see for yourself. I don't want you to believe me, but we have the science behind us. Nobody else does. None of these other things they don't have medical proof behind. They're making claims. They're showing you before and afters with no evidence or no credible evidence behind it. So again, I hope we get to meet and onward and upward.